the hell out of here!
My damn feet ache like a bad tooth.
This is actually under your budget. Yeah, when you move in, Geico can help you save on renters insurance.
Yeah, Geico helped me. They still have playoff implications. They're starting their fourth quarterback. I refuse to give up on this team. Everyone else has.
All right,
Everyone else has.
Even the players.
Well, the players, they're upset. Zach Brown's already looking to next year. Mason Foster can't wait to get out of here. Find a new team. Well.
Look, if Minnesota, Carolina, and Philly all lost this weekend, and Washington somehow beat Jacksonville, in the 6th spot.
Let me turn this down.
Oh, shit.
The Cowboys. They gave up 24 to the Bills.
Yeah, I had quarter nut flat yesterday. That's why I texted you. And I was trying to take my fucking towel off, but my mouth, I don't know what's up with my tools that I had, but that shit
I think you should go into this
always
game
giving me fucking problems.
You'd be pleasantly surprised if they win.
No,
Huh?
I think they can win. Sorry.
But the
I think
wheel?
they can win. If they were playing like
Nah.
a real team, I would say no shot. But they're playing the Jags. I don't have that much respect.
Fournette will probably run.
It was like it was stripping my lug nuts.
I'm not predicting a win.
nuts.
I just think they can win.
But think about
It's like
it.
it was-
Minnesota loses to Miami. Carolina loses to
it was like it was stripping it.
loses the Rams. Washington wins. They jump from the 9th spot to the 6th spot.
I
I think I had like a 23. I mean, I think it takes 22.
Probably will. I'm just saying if. I would agree with you. I think Minnesota will beat Miami.
I was like, this
look,
a
just one
bitch.
game at a time. You got the Poop Jags on your schedule. I think Josh Johnson.
I was like, man, I'm just go ahead and buy some new tires. That drink gone anyway, so
Injury problems too.
on my
Beyond just
spare.
some of all the unrest in the locker
Niggas
room,
that got money
the
keep
injuries
on
are
putting
just-
into the
it's
car
been
every
a little
fucking
bit
5
out of
seconds.
control. So let me just go through this here a little bit. So let me see. They returned to practice yesterday. And these are the guys that missed
I'm waiting on you to get
practice
this
due to
Red Dead though, cause this drink's stupid though.
Bergstrom, the guard, he missed. He's got a knee and an ankle. Josh Dobson, of course, missed the concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. Jordan Reed, of course, who we basically already ruled out. Some have ruled out for the rest of the season. He missed with his foot and ankle injury. Tackle Tanya Secchi, he's got a knee that's bothering him. He missed. Linebacker Ryan Anderson with his hamstring.
I just be going around hunting animals and shit. Niggas just be trying to roll up on
Also missed, even
be
though
fighting
he played
niggas.
against the Giants. He still got
They did a couple of little fist fights and shit. Niggas was setting up an organized fist fight one time. That shit was funny.
The Secchi's a new addition to the injury report, but who knows what's going to happen there. Ioannidis, as we mentioned, he's been dealing with the shin injury for
I
several
don't want to
weeks.
hear this shit, man. We already lost the season. I ain't keep on saying the same shit. You about to hop on the blackout? You know what, for real, I've been wanting to get on Rocket League. I just ain't want to be getting on that by myself. I was like, man, fuck it. This is like, I played a couple of games and that's when I was just like, I gotta have somebody else rolling with me. All everybody else be seeming to be doing it right now, be playing Fortnite on my friends list or 2K. Or Fortnite, 2K, or Call of Duty. Funny thing is, them niggas Rob and Trev talked me into getting this shit, and they ain't it yet. Well, Trey been playing Blackout, but I mean, recently I just started seeing him go back to zombies. I guess he got tired of Blackout. Yo, this is a fucking. Yo, I'm tired. That's one thing I hate, yo. Like, if I'm on my horse and it's a bear coming after me, I'm trying to use my horse to get the fuck away from the bear. And they're gonna throw me off the horse.
Circle till it's getting me ready for Sunday.
I like it. What about the clip where he talks about playing the group before? How that's helped?
Jay yelled at me enough out there to where it kind of stuck in my head on certain things, on how you want things done. And so stepping back in here, it's kind of eased my way through the little things a little bit better. There are some things that have changed, but like, again, my journey has put me in so many different systems. I've learned a huge amount of football from a lot of great football minds. So it's just kind of, just relearning another language.
Here's what I know about Josh. And,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We've heard of Josh, we've seen him kind of bounce around the league, but you never really seen him play. You kind of wonder. Here's what I learned in the limited action. He's a great athlete, and he appears to me he's got a big, strong arm. So there's a reason why 12 teams have signed him.
Yo, come here, horse. Fuck.
Opportunity is everywhere. Like here, where every ride moves you closer to the dream you want to be.
They need to change the physics of this horse riding shit. There's a fucking rock and he won't jump over it.
And welcome to Good Morning Football. We are presented by Intuit Football. Thursday, December 13th. The energy is active here at the breakfast table. Kyle Brandt, Stranger Nichols, and Kay Adams. So ready for Thursday night football. Okay. You've got your toe drags manifesting for hoodie gang, you and me.
Uh-oh.
And a bit of Terry was part of our hoodie gang as well.
Here go all these niggas, man. Somebody gonna be bound to shoot somebody. Let me pull out my shotgun. I ain't got time for this shit.
It's a showdown, an epic one tonight at 8 on NFL Network. The Chargers taking on the Chiefs. Guys, what is the
What's
one
that?
thing that you're looking for in this matchup, Kyle?
I'm looking at Eric.
Just a 3-star? I don't want none of y'all now. I just want this one.
He says he's ready to go. The team says a little cryptic.
Give me that.
They put out a hype video the Chiefs did, and it's him walking out of the stadium. It ain't subtle.
Fuck you mean? I'll take you two since you right there. Headshot. 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 Yeah, it's me. Ooh, that was a clean hit to the head. Let me rob this nigga.
2017. I suffered a ruptured Achilles June of this year. You don't know, so I ruptured my Achilles. I'm 6 months out. Eric Berry is about 15
Of his
months
fur.
now. The thing with this injury is there's the physical
Rob
part,
this nigga
and then
with his
there's the
fucking
psychological.
fur.
It is heavy. I saw my surgeon a week ago. He stands up. He goes, "Stand up and jump on your one leg." I said,
Is that a lot of niggas? Or am I tripping? I got them.
I'm terrified. He said, "Look at me. It's strong. It's healthy. Just do it." My brain would not let me do it.
Oh.
I still get nervous. He says, every day I go for a run.
Why the map does it like that? I'm thinking these niggas right here. They all down here and shit.
That makes me a big baby or something, but there's a huge fear in it. Now, that's only 6 months. It is the worst injury you can suffer. It's the biggest tendon in your body. It's worse than breaking your leg. It's awful. So here we are 15 months later. What I would say to this is, it feels like it's been a long time. You thought he was going to come out a little earlier. If the Chiefs are unleashing him, he's ready. He's really
Do I want to take this deer?
9 months, guys. Like 15 months. I think it's going to be real Eric Berry. Not like, let's see how it goes. Let's put it. I think it's going to be the Eric Berry of old. And just in that spirit, and what we might get tonight, what the Chiefs might.
Oh shit. It's getting dark.
Let's go to 2016. We call this the Eric Berry game. His homecoming in Atlanta, Georgia. sorry, Matt Ryan. Eric Berry, the stunt man.
I still ain't played the story mode yet.
Can you win a game from a safety position single-handedly? Yes, you
Oh
can.
no, what the fuck am I doing?
We had a pick six.
Let me go ahead and get that food.
With the Atlanta Falcons going for 2 points, Matt Ryan, MVP Matt Ryan, is going to throw it to Eric Berry, and he's gone for a pick 2 to ice the game. At the end of this play, I believe his family was in the crowd. He gets them the ball. Eric Berry was on the
I gotta clean my jacket. I got blood all on it.
This is 15
Oh yeah, I gotta change my clothes.
If he has the impact, even a shadow of that tonight, he's a difference maker.
I forgot all about it.
Watch out for 29. The man is back.
He's a playmaker. I can't wait to see that dude do his thing. All right, so for me,
Where's the Taylor?
the quarterback position. And
Is
it's
the Taylor nearby?
There's the arm you can pay attention to. Of course, there's the legs that you can pay attention to. For me, it's his eyes. It's when you're a linebacker or a safety, and he's sitting there. And he's
Damn,
looking at
everybody
the ball.
at Blackwater though.
That's great, but don't make eye contact with Pat
Them
Mahomes.
niggas gonna be fighting, man. They ain't got time to be fighting niggas, man.
It's kind of like staring at a girl that intimidates you. You like, for example, when I went to interview
It's
Lady
only
Gaga,
one nigga there.
I walk in the room, I'm a lion, kind of any joke, sir.
She stared right through you.
That lioness came in, and I'm sitting there like,
You know what? I might have to go here.
I could not look her in the eyes. I remember at one point, I was talking to the producers, all right, so we'll come back on the one shot, and then, all right, cool. I turn around, and she was staring straight at me, to my soul. That's Pat
Oh,
Mahomes.
fuck it. If I'm gonna have to fight somebody, I'm gonna have to fight him. But I gotta go there.
Pay attention to his eyes, because one, he will hit you with the no-look Magic Johnson. First down, or he's going to get outside the pocket, look this way, and throw across the field to Tyreek Hill, or just traditional pocket. It's very clean, sit back, and he's looking over here, staring you down. As soon as that safety moves, he wants to go right to that seam. He's thinking about that seam since he left the huddle. So don't pay attention to his arm, don't pay attention to his leg. Just look at his eyes.
He's like Medusa.
It's like Medusa. If you're back there, you're going to freeze up, and you will turn to stone. That's when they go over
And
his
there's
eyes.
animals everywhere. What the fuck is that?
There's also a cool
pig?
dynamic with the Chargers. All right, to go back in time, I love doing this stuff to look at drafts from recent years. 2017,
Is that a
the
bear?
Chargers, the 7th overall pick. Anthony Lynn is a Texas Tech
Oh.
Red Raider legend, like he's one of the greatest Texas Tech players of all time. He calls up Cliff Kingsbury, the current coach of Texas Tech at the time, and says, "Tell me about this quarterback." And Kingsbury raves about him. Says, "One Texas Tech Red Raider to another. This is the guy. You've got to look at him." They bring in Patrick
I can
Mahomes.
kill this shit out this shrimp. I don't want to.
Let's just take an informational meeting. He blows them away. Tom Telesco, the GM, John Spanos, the owner, they blows them away. Talk about it. Like, Phil's got more left in the tank. We can't draft a quarterback. We're right there, and Phil still has some good years left. Let's give Phil a weapon. What do? The Chargers with the 7th overall pick, and Patrick Mahomes on the board. You're fine.
I'm just getting this motherfucker.
In the 2017 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Mike Williams, wide receiver, Clemson.
Mike Williams, wide receiver, Clemson, having a good second year. He's going to be one of Philip Rivers' weapons the next few years. The Chiefs see that the Chargers passed on Patrick Mahomes, and they start getting interested, saying, "Now, wait a second here. We've got a quarterback we like too in Alex Smith, but we really like that Mahomes." And Kingsbury told us the same exact things. The Chiefs, they get active. What happens next?
The Kansas City Chiefs no longer have a first-round pick in next year's draft. They just traded it along with the 91st overall pick.
Hold up, dude. What the fuck is your problem? Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. That's why I'm about to kill your bitch ass. I'm about to hog tie your bitch ass.
They know Brett Veach also in Philadelphia. They outclose those guys in Philly. Brett Veach, the GM, fell in love with Mahomes. What happens when the Kansas City Chiefs put 17 spots in the draft, give up a first-round pick and a pick in the future? What did the Kansas City Chiefs do with the 10th overall pick?
With the 10th pick in the 2017
I'm gonna let you stay here.
The Kansas City Chiefs select
Whatever
Patrick
fucking
Mahomes, the second.
thing happened to you. Or
This is great.
And now for the next decade, maybe more, the Chargers will face Patrick Mahomes twice a season. And if you want to add another layer to this, the Chargers have a quarterback who's playing maybe the best year of his career, Philip Rivers, where you can't even make the argument they made a mistake not drafting Mahomes. If Rivers can hit Williams a few times in a big play, it was worth taking
oh
Williams.
shit.
This is one of those great NFL draft fascinations 2 years
personal motto for the season, and it's Nunc Copi, and it means now I begin. And I thought about it, and I said, okay, that's cool. Like, I get it, rebirth. What does that really mean? He's been in this league for 15 years. What does that mean, now I begin? He just turned 37 last week, but he does look reborn this season. He truly, really does. If I thought about what it means, Rivers used to be a risk taker.
Yo, Cuz man, he's been a team fucking with me. Thought I was about to have to shoot him. You go over there trying to catch deers and shit.
So now I look at it, and I think that the now I begin was him understanding that he can rely on other people, and now he has to.
Alright, now we're in town. There's gonna be some niggas in here. Is my horse tired? Shit. Y'all, they fighting over there.
Clearly rocks it all day. Oh, yeah, he can.
These niggas fighting like shit.
Opportunity is everywhere.
No pasta. Let me go
Right
eat.
here, where nothing stands between you and your best friend.
Exclusive suits, exclusive outfits.
Thursday night football. The Chiefs coming off an exciting overtime victory over the Ravens on Sunday, and they're looking to keep their record perfect at home when they host the Chargers on Thursday night. Hopefully they'll get another miraculous performance out of their QB, with more on this very exciting, crucial matchup. Here's Omar Ruiz.
Good morning, Kay. While the Chiefs have clinched their fourth straight postseason appearance, a lot of the talk here in Kansas City remains on Patrick Mahomes' latest throw around the football world, that no-look pass to DeMarcus Robinson. Mahomes said he's been working on no-look passes since his college days at Texas Tech, but only now because of the trust he's built with his receivers and their chemistry is he allowed to make those plays in the game. That play, one of the many from Sunday alone for his MVP campaign's highlight reel. He told me after the game that because of the fourth quarter comeback and going blow for blow with a defensive team like the Ravens, those are the wins that he finds most satisfying, the ones that he'll always remember. They're hoping to make another memorable win on Thursday night against the Chargers. If they do so, they'll clinch their third straight AFC West title. For now, let's go back to you in the studio, Kay.
Omar, we cannot sleep even because of this one. We cannot wait. But looking at the AFC playoff picture as the season comes to a close, remember the Chiefs play 2 of their next 3 games at home. The Chargers play 2 of their next 3 on the road. And these 2 squads face off Thursday for the first time since week 1. And I feel like week 1 was great, but a lot has changed on both squads really since then. A lot of winning going on between the two, and the AFC West is still up for grabs. So let's just sort of, I feel like we're going to talk about this all week, right, Trigg? So let's take it kind of slowly. When you think about this matchup, round 2, what's the first thing that you want to dig into?
I go back to August in round 1, and I think with the extent of our show, which was high on Patrick Mahomes, at least hopeful for him, it was Brett Veach, the GM, Andy Reid, the head coach, and maybe Cliff Kingsbury, his college coach, who believed that he would ever possibly do what he's doing. Guys, the numbers are insane. He leads the NFL with 43 touchdown passes. He's the fastest quarterback ever to 40 career touchdowns. He's on pace to break Peyton Manning's NFL record. I mean, he leads the league with passing yards. He's doing it all. And I think he was a curiosity week 1 when we saw them beat the Chargers. Now he's viewed as the best player in the NFL. But it's not just the numbers. It's not just the wins. It's the freaking highlights every weekend. Come on, baby. We went through the no-look pass. Omar just talked about the no-look pass. Have you seen this angle of the no-look pass?
Where did you even find this?
This angle is better. This angle. Let's roll it again. Producers, I want to see it on loop. That is not done in high school. That's not done in college. That's not done in the pros. And it's never been done before in a game with the stakes. Now, can I see it in real time? Because look at it this way. This is from the local affiliate. That is insane. Thank you, KMBC. The thing with Mahomes that's so amazing is he's not just a sensational, great first-year starter. he's doing it with the style, the panache, the flair, the pizzazz that you would hope the NFL would have a future star like that. I mean, we saw it in college basketball with Zion Williamson. He's got it. See it in pro basketball when LeBron first came into the league. Mahomes is more than numbers, and he's more than wins, and he's more than great sound bites. He's a highlight reel also. That pass, you will never see it done again. You might see it attempted. It won't work. Mahomes is special. Mahomes is special. He might be the only one who can do it again.
It's the best pass ever.
I don't think we knew that would be the case.
But I did see it, Jason Williams to Chris Webber. I did see them.
Saw Rafe LaFrance miss a dunk.
Scott Pollard, I think it was.
Scott Pollard, yeah.
Scott Pollard, right.
Here, things about Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, producers, so send that clip to me. I want that in my phone. You guys use your wallpaper? All right.
He needs to be the first player that you strap a GoPro on when he's on the field.
Or
like,
just his
put a
arm.
GoPro or his arm or something. I need to see all of the
The best pass. We need to look. There's no look. Just all of that. It's ironic, really. I'm going to look back to that first matchup, and it was the beginning of the Mahomes era, de facto. But the player in that game was Tyreek Hill. They went into the stub-up, and Hill just exploded the entire game before it even started. If you remember that game, anticipation, week 1, opener, and he has a 91-yard punt return. It's like, oh, damn, look out. And he has a 58-yard reception in the first quarter alone. So this is Tyreek, guys, really early, and it's week 1, and everyone's optimistic, and we're all going to the Super Bowl, and will Mahomes be good? And then Tyreek Hill just starts doing stupid stuff like this, and the StubHub was turned upside down. Here's the thing that I think about. Do we have that Tyreek Hill this week? As you know, he's got a little bit of an injury. His quote is verbatim, "My foot is bad." That's his exact quote. Day to day, we don't know. If you look at this game right now, Hill, I need to see that Hill.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hunt is out. Sammy Watkins is out. It's a little bit of the firepower is a little bit questionable because as good as Mahomes was, and it was this great coming out party, he is the one. Tyreek Hill ended that game in the first quarter. The Chargers, as much as they fought back, like symbolically, he snapped the neck early. I need to know if that Tyreek Hill's there. That 4th and 9 Tyreek Hill, the limping one, he's going to be the difference maker in this game because he was huge in the first one.
Yeah, speaking of difference makers, if you look back to that first game, of course what's different is the running game for both squads. Kareem Hunt no longer playing football right now. And then you look at Melvin Gordon, who was dominant in that first game. He had 15 runs, 64 yards, but he had 9 receptions for 102. So obviously he makes an impact in between the tackles and in the passing game. Austin Eckler also had himself a day, got in the end zone, was an effective runner out of his backfield, catching out of the backfield. But now you fast forward to now. No Melvin Gordon. I remember thinking to myself, oh, here it is. This is that one injury that will derail this Chargers team. It hasn't. Over the last couple of games, Justin Jackson, Austin Eckler, they've been balling out. Austin Eckler, as we know, he gets in the end zone. He does a little rock star thing. Yeah. Here's the thing about this. If this were a band, this group of running backs, Melvin Gordon was the lead singer. Now all of a sudden, Melvin Gordon's out. The backup dancers, they get to shine. Okay. They get the center stage. Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson. Over the last 2 games, which they won, by the way, 254 yards and 2 TDs total. 2 guys. Talking about taking advantage of your situation. I remember having Anthony Lynn on the show, and what did he say? These guys are young, they got fresh legs, and more importantly, they are ready. That will be the difference in this game. If you want to win this game, it's going to have to be the running game, just like the Cowboys with the Saints. Muddy up the game, just like the Bears with the Rams. Muddy up the game and use your backs to keep those guys on the sideline.
And so much credit to their offensive line for just having those backups step in. They're making holes for them. They've been stout all season long. The first thing I think of, Triggs, when I think of this game is Phillip Rivers, and the only word I think of is legacy. What is your legacy, Phillip Rivers? You have lost 9 straight to the Kansas City Chiefs. There was a young boy named Lip Rivers who was actually 13-4 against the Chiefs. And then this man named Andy Reid came into the picture, and since then, that is what the difference is. It's not the quarterback, it's Andy Reid. He has Phillip Rivers' number, and he's lost 9 straight. That is an incredible, that is a staggering statistic for me, and a split that if I'm Phillip Rivers, that is my personal dragon I need to see slayed. That is my Big Ben has to beat New England. That he needs to do that under the bright lights with so much at stake. He has 14 interceptions, 9 touchdowns over that 9-game losing streak. But this season, he only has 6 picks on the year. Talking about firepower and how it's a little bit lacking on the Chiefs side outside of Mahomes, they have the firepower. They have the defense. They have Bosa. He has the support he needs to finally get it done.
Phillip Rivers started 202 games in a row. He hasn't beaten the Chiefs since 2012.
Slay the Dragon.
Twice every year.
Slay the Dragon. We'll see how it works out. It is the game
He
of
said
the
kill
year
that
in the
bastard.
AFC West. Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on Rivers and the Chargers. Chargers-Chiefs Thursday Night Football. When it's on,
It's on!
first thing at 8 on the NFL Network on Fox and streaming on Prime Video.
Oh, yeah, I gotta
We're
put a
super
hat on
hyped
because
and
we
charged
be
up
high
about
out there.
Chargers at Chiefs this Thursday, and we will check in with Will Selva now, who I'm sure is just as excited.
Absolutely. It's not Thursday yet?
Three.
Come on. And I love the references. Can we bring up Corliss Williamson, too? Big Nasty. You guys friends?
Big
Come
Nasty.
on. Peja. Yes. Yeah. Give me Peja. Give
You
me
want to go
Hito
Hito Turkoglu? Do it. Go for it. Go for it. Exactly.
Yes. I love it. Bobby Jackson. We can go all morning. I love you guys.
Great.
All right. So there's lots of news to get to in Baltimore. The Ravens quarterback situation is one that is becoming particularly intriguing as Joe Flacco continues his recovery from a hip injury, adding to the
These days
suspense of
over here
head
just
coach
fighting the
John Harbaugh's
police.
next move is the health status of rookie Lamar Jackson. Jackson, of course, suffering a foot injury in the loss to the Chiefs. Veteran Robert Griffin III taking some snaps for relief of the rook. Harbaugh saying Jackson should be okay for Sunday's matchup against the Bucs. In terms of Flacco, Harbaugh declined to commit to him getting his old job back. Now, Harbaugh did say Flacco would be part of the game plan if he's ready to go and believes he's too good of a player not to be. What this exactly means is uncertain. Team medically clearing Flacco to play in the overtime loss to
Seems like my horse be doing whatever the fuck you want to do.
to prepare enough to play. So it goes in Baltimore. Meanwhile, Kenyon Drake's stunning walk-off touchdown against the Pats on Sunday is still being talked about on shows like this and on the radio airwaves. You may have noticed that when Drake made it to the end zone, he threw the football into the stands. Drake, caught up in the moment, emotions, but he wants it back now. He'll make special arrangements, in fact, for you.
What's up, dog fans? It's Kenyon Drake here. Yesterday was one of the most amazing moments of my life, and I was glad to share it with all you guys, Miami fans,
Man, what the
NFL
fuck is this
fans.
bear
But I
at?
have a PSA. I threw the ball in the stands. I would love to have it back, but we can make a trade. I got cleats.
Oh, deer right in front of me.
I got a jersey. I even got tickets.
What is
Just
it?
let me know. Please get back with me, and we can make a trade.
Where the fuck it
He
go?
calls it a PSA. So if you're
Yo,
a
these
fan
animals
out
be
there that
disappearing.
has
Oh,
the
I see.
football, Kenyon Drake has some stuff for you. And this is the second player in recent weeks that
Nah,
we've
you
seen
lying
throw
now.
football up in the stands. Taylor Decker of the Lions got his first
You go
touchdown. He threw it into the
right there,
stands,
you
but
go.
through the magic of Twitter, ended up retrieving the football. So hopefully Kenyon Drake will have the same kind of luck.
Great story. Hopefully it's the storybook ending for Kenyon Drake. Does he get that thing back?
I hope so.
It'll be like at the airport when they're like $300 waiver and you wait for it to go up to $1,000 because you know you'll get it back. Maybe he'll keep adding incentives, no?
Sit on it for a while.
Maybe he can get him the Gronk's pants that are around his ankles after that play. Wait, what I just say?
That's a bear?
We'll talk to you in a bit. 3 games left on the schedule. Who is the best player in the NFL right now? That's right. We're breaking out the crazy Susan to help us out just in time for the holidays.
I gotta get in front of it. Come on, horse.
Thursday night in Kansas City. It's the game of the year in the AFC West. You get opportunity to make a play. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Welcome back to the show. Former head coach Eric Mangini is here. Coach, do you realize how often we make reference to or talk about you when you're not here? Do the ears burn? Do you go back? Obviously, you watch all 3 hours of the show every single day that you're not on the show.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I know.
What are you pointing at, see? Me.
I appreciate it.
My friend right here, Coach Mangini, pointed out. Yeah, I keep giving him credit.
Good looking out.
Oh, dude over here is a thief.
Oh, that's not accurate.
I listened to his radio show, Coach Mangini. My goodness, you would be surprised at the what do they call it?
The word you're looking for is plagiarism, but that's a lie. I do not plagiarize any.
No, I wasn't looking for plagiarism. You wouldn't. Coach, I want you to surprise Listen to Nick Wright on Sirius Radio. It's
Can you stop?
plagiarism.
Can you stop, please?
That he's saying is his take, and it's our stuff. It's not. It's lying. It's just plagiarism. It's just taking whatever it is. It's different when it's words. Plagiarism when you write it down. No, that's when you.
Get the fuck off this dumbass horse, please, please.
Thursday night football serving up.
This horse is irritating.
You're the one that got kicked out. All right.
It was for being good.
Thursday night. Here we go. The Chargers heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The veteran Philip Rivers looking to take down the young gun Pat Mahomes to keep the Chargers' hopes alive for the 1 seed. But they will likely have to do that without their top 2 running backs, Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. All right, Coach. Nick needs more ideas to steal for his radio show. How do the Chargers beat the Chiefs?
They should have kicked you out, and then the world would have been saved from it.
We love Nick. We need more Nick in our lives, not less.
Look, one of the things I've liked that people have done against Patrick Mahomes, and I know Nick and I disagree on this, but it's bringing the pressure. And I think the ability to bring pressure, but also bring it predominantly from his right side. So if you're going to lose contain, make sure that he's going to his left. But that consistent pressure, ideally pressure that keeps him within the pocket, that forces him to make even quicker decisions, not be able to extend plays. And then if you're going to play coverage, play split safety coverage, give up the run. And I don't mean dramatically give up the run, but concede more running plays than passing plays, and double their 2 key guys, and hit Kelsey every time you can at the line of scrimmage. To me, that would be the approach. Force him to beat you running the ball, or at least slow down the game where they have
Can I kill my own fucking horse, please?
About Pat Mahomes under pressure, and the point that I was making then and I'll make now is every quarterback is markedly worse when under pressure than not under pressure. So Mahomes this year is a 67 passer rating when pressured. That sounds awful. It's 18th in the NFL, so it's just below league average. He also has the 2nd most pass yards in the NFL when pressured, and the 5th most touchdown passes in the NFL when pressured. He still has the ability to make big plays. The problem is he's got 7 of his 11 interceptions that he's thrown all year have been when he's been pressured. So if you're going to get him to make a mistake, and that doesn't incorporate the strip sacks that I know we've talked about before. He is much more prone to make a mistake when pressured, but what those numbers also show you is if you bring the pressure and you don't get to him, you are leaving yourself susceptible to a big play down the field, as he's repeatedly done.
Right, but we know that if you just play coverage, he's gotten a ton of big plays down the field. At least by bringing the pressure, you're forcing the issue, and you've got the opportunity to create some turnovers. Now, you mix that in, ideally, with some disguise, so it looks like pressure, and you play coverage, and then double the 2 key guys, and make sure that every time Kelsey releases, someone's hitting him. No clean releases. Hit him, and hit him some more.
I'm going back to coach's game plan. The game plan New England adopted when the greatest show on turf.
That's a sheep.
Game we had never seen wide receivers, tight ends, running backs get jammed at the line of scrimmage the way that New England did in that game. I'm going to double that because not only Kelsey, because we have one of them old-fashioned matchups. Kelsey, probably best tight end in pro football, and Derwin James, man, he is going to be a star in this league for a long time. The rookie safety from Florida State that is leading that Chargers defense with that pass rush. Also, Tyreek Hill, he's got a foot problem. Now, he's a small guy, and he wears these little soccer
cleats. Do I got the slowest horse in horse history or something like that?
Might be rain on Thursday night, so anytime you have a small guy, because he's not going to wear the wider bottom cleats because they're heavier, and most little guys, they say that they don't like to play football in those cleats. So I want to watch him and watch his foot problem, but I'm going to jam him at the line of scrimmage, and if I'm able to do that, I don't think he's going to be able to
make it. How is he moving through these trees like that? But I can't.
They should have been jamming him at the line of scrimmage. When he was hobbling around, he hobbled around to be able to make that last play, be able to get him in and ultimately get that touchdown to be able to tie up the game. So I have to be physical if I'm the Chargers. And Philip Rivers, I'm putting this game in his hand. I might throw the ball 50 times. All right? He is a modern-day John Wayne. Doesn't get the credit, but I believe he could dice up the secondary of the Chiefs. I believe that's the way for them to be able to win this football game.
Yeah, and with Philip Rivers, the key thing for him,
is not to press it too much, not to make that key error, that key interception. He is fantastic, and he's been fantastic against Kansas City. And in the first game of the season, he had an unbelievable, was the fourth quarter. I think the numbers were pretty staggering. But just to make sure that, from his perspective, just by doing what he's done throughout the course of the season, that's going to be good enough. Don't press something. Don't force something.
And I expect, especially without the running game, I expect to throw a lot of short passes.
Oh my god, are you fucking...
Try to be able to keep that Kansas City offense off the field is by putting the ball in their best players' hands.
My lasso got caught on the fucking tree. And allow this nigga to get away again.
The coaches train us that you're going to have some bad weather. And inclement weather, that football, when it gets below freezing, Wilson, they make the best football in the world. But the surface of the ball changes. The ball becomes with a little gloss over it. It's hard to handle. You can't throw it as well. And, man, people are injured at the end of the season. It's hard to have continuity. People, they have a recipe for your best stuff. They know what you're great at.
This ain't even the thing I was chasing.
But football is meant to be played in the elements. And we have seen, yes, NFL highest scoring September, October ever.
Where the fuck did he go?
We have seen the best offenses. Let's go even with the Saints in perfect conditions in Dallas, struggle. Rams, Sunday night, struggle. Kansas City, last week, 17 points with 2 minutes to go. So I thought there would be a correction. Man, football is hard to play, and it's harder to play when it's cold. It's harder to play offensive football.
And one of the things about the best teams and the best players is they learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's a hard thing to do, whether it's cold or playing through injuries or any of those different situations.
But isn't that
the great ones have a way to push through that?
Isn't that why that Baltimore game was so impressive? Your number one running back's been cut. Your number two running back is knocked out of the game. Maybe your best offensive lineman, Cameron Irving, he's out of the game. Sammy Watkins didn't play. Tyreek Hill is, like you said, limping around. They are playing the number one defense in football. Mahomes is struggling mightily in the third and into the fourth quarter, and they still found a way
Their defense
to win.
won that game. That was impressive.
Their defense won that game?
How'd they get the ball back?
Yeah, but they didn't even score when they got the ball back. Like you're talking about the strip sack after they had tied it up. I didn't feel like the defense won the game because I understand the defense put them in position.
Absolutely, their defense has been so bad. To say, man, they was going to only give up 20-something points,
but when you know you're playing a team that's never going to pass, as we talk,
they're 30th in defense, right?
Yeah, overall, absolutely. No. But I didn't think. I don't think
their offense didn't keep them in the game.
Okay,
I mean, you said Patty Mahomes was playing awful. So what kept him in the game?
Okay,
shit.
So they scored 17 points in the first half,
and
then they didn't score until the end of the game. I don't think holding the Ravens to 20.
That was the most surprising thing about the way their defense held up. Their defense made enough plays for them. That's how to me they were able to get through.
Fucking horse mechanics is just weird as fuck.
I thought the defense played fine. I don't think holding the Ravens to 24 is a great accomplishment. I think they're going to run on you with Lamar Jackson. They ran successfully. They weren't able to make enough big plays. One last note on this. If the Chiefs have owned their division pre-Pat Mahomes, unlike any team in the NFL. Last 21 divisional games, they are 20-1. That was one of the things you liked about Alex Smith. We'll see if that trend continues on Thursday. If it does, they essentially lock up the 1 seed.
Quick last thought, Coach.
I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, this has serious playoff implications.
Right.
And this is another step in his development.
All right, that was quicker than either of these guys have ever. I wasn't prepared. I was like, I'm going to sit back and make something here. Coach, stick around. Coming up, can the Vikings turn it around after yesterday's coaching shakeup? That's next on First Things First.
Coaches and coaching shakeup.
Yeah, my favorite.
Because
I like when they fire him early in the season.
First person.
With my very own vision.
First to the end zone, touchdown, Chargers. Struts like a superstar.
Mahomes fires for the end zone, touchdown! Patrick Mahomes, the magic show. Trying to score free, the cheetah's loose.
Flash to the finish.
You can't even change this shit.
Prime time ball.
All right, we've got a huge game on Fox tonight
Who's the beer? Fuck. Oh, I thought he was about to attack him.
I'm going to take the Chargers. I like the way Philip Rivers is playing.
Some of these bears lately, they've been running away from me and shit, right? It's like a baby bear.
They're to be reckoned with. And I think that's the advantage that they have over Kansas City, this defense. Because I don't think Kansas City's secondary. Eric Berry will
You looking for trouble?
Over a year and a half. But I think this is where Kansas City has a decided advantage. Their receiver group against Kansas City defense. Both are coming back for the Chargers defense.
Yeah.
It's been unbelievable. 17 tackles, 4 sacks over his last 3 games. So now you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice. Are we going to double Melvin Ingram or are we going to have to double Joey Bosa? And so with him being back, I just think the Kareem Hunt being out of the lineup, and we all know his situation. We don't need to harp on that, Skip. I think losing Kareem Hunt, you can look at it 2 ways. Either the field has come up to Kansas City because of Hunt, or Kansas City is taking a step back with the absence of Kareem Hunt. Whatever the case
how do these motherfuckers? Where's my beard?
Same explosive, dynamic team. Tyreek Hill is
Yo,
going to be hampered with that foot injury.
where's this bear that I just shot at?
But that's a quick turnaround. Hurt your foot on Sunday, and you're playing a game.
Oh, I was about to say, this bitch should not still be alive.
Had this been a Sunday game, I definitely would have leaned towards Kansas City. But I'm gonna take the Chargers on the road. They do a great job of protecting the football. Only 10 turnovers all year. Tied with Seattle, USO. I'm gonna take the Chargers in a close ball game. I'm gonna say 30, 31, 30.
31-30? Wow.
Police
So,
time.
Jenny Taft, this was fascinating to me. I couldn't wait to hear what my man across the table said because he was between a rock and a hard place on this one. Because he picked those quote-unquote San Diego Chargers, as we sometimes call them, LA Chargers. You picked them before the year.
I'll give it to Red Dead. This game like that, man. They need to do a lot more online, but it's way better than GTA Online to me, in my opinion. How it started off. They need to add some game modes and stuff, though.
And now you are driving his train.
This shit is funny.
Okay, well, you should have a slight edge right now, but this is a big night for your homeboy.
Man, where's this damn deer at, man?
Last big Thursday night game on Fox, and there's a lot of chips in the middle of the table. Right? A lot of people are going to be affected.
My bad,
a lot
sir.
of playoff pairings could be set tonight. Home field advantage at stake, and if your team's going to have the kind of year that you want, you need your team to win this game.
Yes.
And you know this coach very well.
I do. Played with it.
So,
How you
I
doing,
also
sir?
went back and forth about this game.
Enjoy your
and
day.
I thought you would probably go with your kind of your heart. Your heart belongs to the
How you doing,
Chargers,
sir?
right? Your head belongs, for the sake of undisputed, to your homeboy.
Yep.
But you went with the Chargers, and I do not blame you. But I am going to go. I'd already decided. I didn't know where you were going to go for sure. But I'm going to go with the home team.
Okay.
And I don't love Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not gaga over him the way you are.
You should be.
Well, after that 4th and 9, close my eyes. And throw
No, he's playing that.
It was
He saw it.
the biggest prayer I've seen since Eli Manning's Super Bowl throw that stuck in David Tyree's face mask. You know? But he pulled it off.
2 4 downs on that.
He did. No, I got to give it to him.
That's
So,
dope.
what I don't love about your team, the Chargers, tonight is they lost Austin Eckler, who's their little 3rd down dynamo, and he's not going to play. And I don't know if Melvin Gordon's going to play or not, because that's a big deal, right? Now, on the other side, they did lose
That's a
that
fox.
running back, and that was a huge loss. And now Spencer Ware can't go, so they're pretty handicapped at running back. Also,
I
Sammy
need to be a
Watkins is going to
stronger
go.
rifle, man.
But to
A
me,
bolt action.
Sammy Watkins stay hurt.
Okay, he does.
He never goes.
No, he's the number 2 of the right.
Yeah.
I can't say that guy's name, but he's the number 2 of the Kansas City.
Oh, so you trying to call him? Oh, he the Kawhi
Ooh.
Leonard of football.
Am I right?
Not a good comparison.
Not a
Coming
good
from
comparison. No, it's not. So the point is, this is a night game at Arrowhead. You've been there and
Yes.
done that a few
Yes.
times,
Yes,
right?
I have.
And I did
So
look
long.
at the forecast, and it's not bitter cold, but it's just your basic cold.
Right.
It's going to be 30-something degrees with 14-mile-an-hour wind, which is fairly significant. So the wind chill is going to be 20-something. And
Oh,
I
check
still
this
think
one.
that these
All right, if I
sunny
get this one,
LA
that's it.
Chargers are
going to have a hard time in the cold up there.
Well, they went to beat Pittsburgh and put the pain on Pittsburgh. But
it wasn't a night game.
Yes, it was.
Was it a night game? I thought it was a late afternoon game.
But you know what? It
was a night game.
It was a night game. Yeah. This is why Andy Reid moved up to get Patrick Mahomes for a game like this in conditions like this. Because with that arm, the elements do not play a factor. It doesn't matter how cold it gets. It doesn't matter how
it plays a factor in those trying to catch it.
Oh yeah. Because the ball does move, but he can throw it. He has the arm talent to cut through those type elements. But I just like the way the Chargers are playing. But think about this, Skip. Had they not gone, Phillip Rivers threw for 400 yards against the Broncos.
So now, use the long scope rifle for King
to be in charge. You're playing for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, you are.
This game could have easily been to determine who's going to be the number 1 seed. And there's a good chance that because they lost to the Broncos in Kansas City.
Nah, this game like that, yo. This game like that. I give it to him. So, hey, I'm hunting this big ass moose and some shit like that. Following the footsteps and shit. I find it. And then that's when the motherfucker, you could choose to call it to draw his attention, to raise his head up and then shoot it. Like, that shit is ridiculous.
A rookie named Derwin James, safety, 6'1".
He was eating grass and I called it and it looked up and I shot him with a headshot, dropped him. And they got different like weapons. It tells you for different animals that you got to use to like get a clean kill so you can skin it to get the most money you want from it and shit like that. Alright, once I sell this one, I hop on that black out.
So Byron Jones isn't the best cornerback in the NFL, right?
He's been playing the best cornerback. Casey Hayward last year was ranked.
We're not talking about right now. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about right now. So is Casey Hayward better than Byron Jones?
Casey Hayward is
I was like, why they got called?
He has no interceptions
Like
because
the animal gonna call him
the
to you or some
Deion of
shit.
this era where nobody will even throw to him. So he's doing it just on pure reputation.
Fuck my horse. I ain't using my horse no more unless it's like chasing deer or some
Don't
shit.
you ever say, I don't care if he's the dean of Vanderbilt. Don't you ever say Casey Hayward and Deion in the same sentence.
I just said of this era, he's become that guy.
No. Just said he's playing really well. There is no Deion of no era.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. But he is really good.
Yeah, he's playing
and
well.
Their secondary is really good.
But they need to get a little bit more exotic. Gus Bradley's the D coordinator who came out of Seattle, and they play a simple coverage. And a lot of times, Skip, they just line up in it, which is cover 1, cover 3, learn. You can't do that. The quarterbacks are too good. The receivers are too good. If they know what you're going to do, and then you just line up in and say, well, we just that good. No, you're not.
Okay? So if you're going to be right about this pick, one, Joey Bosa better rise and shine tonight, and he better introduce himself multiple times to that young quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You got, and you better keep him in the pocket.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, keep him in the pocket because Skip, he's not looking to run. He's one of the few quarterbacks that when he escapes the pocket, he's looking to throw the ball over your head. And he has the arm talent. I think Coach Belichick thought he was playing Kansas City and realized, Patrick Mahomes can throw this ball 70 yards to the end zone. Not Ryan Tannehill. So he got him confused.
See? Yeah, he just took a shot at
I didn't take no shot.
Thank
Just
you.
wanna kill him just for the kill.
No, he did not. Coach Belichick is the GOAT of coaching.
What is he?
Go,
Lowercase.
No, don't do this.
Yes, Jenny.
The Chiefs have won 9 straight against the Chargers. I thought you would appreciate knowing that number.
Fuck.
Sorry, Shannon.
And Phillip Rivers.
He didn't look up when I fucking called his ass the first time.
Yeah, I
So, So, Bill. 9.
Whew. Yeah, that is not for me, but good for them.
He's going to have to play till he's 40.
A lot of college tuition. Skip's guy Tom Brady starting to look a tad bit old. We'll discuss that with Greg Jennings. Let's hear what he has to say next.
Damn, how far am I away from the shop? Yo, nature on here is beautiful. The storms, the lightning and shit, the sound, man, this shit beautiful, man.
Ezekiel Elliott, he's rushed for over 100
Like the lightning, like looks amazing on here, and it's loud. Shit's just come out of nowhere and scare the shit out of you.
rookie, and yesterday was asked about winning it again. Take a listen.
Yo, they can't make a game like this and then come out with some bullshit ass GTA 5, I mean 6. I ain't with it, man.
Super Bowl. So I mean, we're just gonna, keep working and whatever happens out, things like that, handle themselves and things will work out.
Okay, Shannon. Do you like Zeke saying this?
I don't. I won't.
Can you give me my motherfucking bow and arrow horse? Oh, man, what the? That's one problem I'm gonna have. They're gonna have to fix this damn horse shit.
They care about numbers also. They care about touchdown passes. They care about passing numbers. But they always put the team goals first. Second. So therefore, it seems like their team plays. See, what Zeke should have said is that what's important is us securing the NFC East. And we still have a chance to get up to the number 3 seed and so forth and so on. And I'm going to get the offensive line is doing a great job. Offensive coordinator is doing a great job of calling plays. So I'm going to get carries. My job is to, how many times they hand me the football, is to run the football and try to get positive yards. And at the end of these 3 games, if I'm in the lead and have the most rushing yards,
look at the graphics on this stream.
but we would have won the
This shit
NFC
is
East,
ridiculous.
possibly got the 3rd seed. All the team goals that
Imagine
we have
playing
set
this
for
on
ourselves, and
PC.
even some that we set forth now takes place once we get to the playoffs. Now everybody's like, man.
The graphics is almost as good as God of War. Almost.
That's the way you play this game. Because it's not always about being a good player or a great player. It's
I
about
just said the graphics.
and putting out a situation, putting out a vibe. That the most important thing, even though the most important thing is team success. Yeah, I just want to win. If we can win these last 3, we're gonna be NFC East champ. We get a chance to get the number 3 seed. And hey,
Didn't they just give away the free remastered one on like the free subscription there?
What we know, Skip, when you start getting to that 400 threshold, that's normally a point of no return. And we've seen very few guys be able to come back from that. So the question is, okay, you say if they win this game, they're going to be NFC East champs. Do you rest Zeke down the stretch? Because that was a lot of thinking in Mike's.
I think it's 2 different games though.
Terrell, 1998, Mike Shanahan.
Like how is it's 2 different.
There are a lot of games in the first. He played the first half.
In a way it's similar, but in a way it's 2 different. Like that's like its own right. Like the way that game is made, if you was never if you knew nothing about God of War, that would be like a first game to start you off with.
But I'd rather be fresh for this playoff push. And those extra carries that I got in the regular
What, in God of War?
Now you can put those on my plate in the playoffs. And now I can possibly drive and help this team get to our ultimate goal. And that's playing in first Sunday in February in the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
I forgot all about that. I ain't even finished 3.
The most important thing is team success. And at the end of the regular season,
With
if I have
Sword?
a yardage and I win that award, yes,
I think I did finish it there.
So,
Well, no, because that's stupid to say that, because that just sounds, common sense wise, where you gonna stab yourself with. So.
We're smarter than
It's
this.
that.
You're trying to plant seeds of dissension in the Cowboy locker room. You're trying to plant seeds of resentment.
I meant to say what sword it was, but I forgot.
That Zeke is talking about Zeke instead of the team. No. Am I right?
No.
And usually, I would be with you in your opinion about this. Usually.
The one with the female powers in it?
Nobody in that Cowboy locker room considers Ezekiel Elliott a me-first player. Nobody thinks of him as a prima donna. Nobody thinks of him as unto himself, somewhere above the team. Nobody thinks that in that locker room. I've never heard a hint of doubt about Zeke in that locker room, because they all realize that when he wants to win the rushing title, what's good for Zeke is not good for the team. It's great for the team. And I'm going to get to your touches in just a minute, because that's very valid what you brought up, and I wanted to get, that's the deeper issue going on here. But nobody on that team sacrifices his body more than this guy does. Right. Nobody runs harder every single snap than this guy. And obviously he's catching a bunch of balls and having to run with it also.
Nobody
that's a fucking squirrel. Anybody got time for
the
that?
greatest body lean in a running back I have ever seen. Does he not go north and south as hard as he can go? And on 3rd and short or 4th and short, does anybody try to run through a brick wall any harder than this guy does at 21? Will he not wriggle and squirm for every little
Your boy Radical ain't talking about Ray
to
Daisy.
get the first down? Again, they know what he's giving for this team. And I got to tell you, it frustrates me when he has a bigger run, 15 or 20
he won't be at work.
he does this. You know, what's the next thing he does usually? He holds up his hand, he does this, and then he does this. It all comes right together. This, like, I need
He's
a
gonna
song.
lose his job playing video
Ron
games.
Smith for him, and I'm like, no, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Now you're hot. You know, how many great running men, Eric Dickerson, you know, that don't they just give me the ball? Give me the ball, right?
It comes that serious, you gotta give it a break. You get some work days and all that. Unless you got money, you can just chill.
Yeah. So, to your point about, you know, do I worry about him being used up too quickly? I'm even doing a bigger picture. Can he last 4 more years at this rate? I don't know. Not. It's really. Seriously, his shelf life doesn't feel real long to me. Well, this
they
is
got Wolves.
Smith. Emmett was a master at avoiding contact. Zeke is going to.
And for Zeke something, I mean, Zeke runs towards contact.
He does. And I love that about him. He does. Totally agree. Scary. But remember, I thought he had a chance because I thought this year was all about 21 because there's nobody to throw to. And unfortunately, because there was nobody to throw to, defense has said it's all about stopping 21, and they did that because in those first few games, we're at that opener at Carolina, he had 69
Yo, I
yards.
swear this horse leaves you as soon as it see trouble, man. This motherfucker was be getting the fuck up out of there.
So his yards were low for the first sort of half of the season. All of a sudden, he caught
3 little
fire.
bitch ass wolves just try to attack me. This horse got the fuck. Like, I'm not, no. Threw me off and everything.
Eric's record 21-05. I thought this was going to be the year, and then Travis Frederick went down, and then they opted to start the kid at left guard, Connor Williams, which was a terrible idea.
Now he's a right guard.
Well, yeah, now he's a right guard. Maybe Zach Martin will try to play at Indy. We don't know. But the point is, he got off to such a slow start, and now he's back in gear. Right. Now he's already up to 1,500 yards, like 1,553. Yes, so he's still going to fall 500 yards short of Eric, probably, if you project. I'm sorry, I'm projecting him. He's at 1,260. Oh, yeah, he's at 1,262 now, but he could finish. Right. The projection would be 15.
That's all they talk about on Undisputed.
And to your point, I don't know if they win Sunday. Maybe.
Hold up, Curtis. Who the fuck? Hey, these pedestrians on here be reckless, you know. You lucky I'm skinning this damn wolf right now. I kill the shit out your ass.
Well, obviously, I
do my best to stay out your path today, or there's gonna be some problems.
Do I think Zeke is selfish? No.
This horse keep on shitting.
In order for them to have the success,
okay, I got you. That's the politically correct.
Right. That's how they play the game.
All right, this is my last skin.
Not incredibly honest every interview because he reflects for a second when he hears a question. He thinks you can just see his mind working. And then he's like, "Well, sure, yeah, I'd like to win a rushing title. Well, you know he would like to, of course, right? And I don't think anybody in that locker room will hold it against him for just acknowledging. Yeah, if you get asked the question, he didn't volunteer it. He didn't say, my mission this year is to win another rushing title.
No, I don't believe that is. I mean, I think his job is to go out there and show that he's the best back in football. And normally, a lot of times, the guy that leads the league in rushing, majority of the time, gets considered as being the best running back. He believes he's the best running back in all of football. In order for them to have the success, there's no coincidence that they took off. Amari Cooper comes in. Now they lift that safety up out of the box because he has to go and have to worry about Amari Cooper. Now that's one less guy, a tackler that Zeke has to worry about. And now he's 115, 124, 150, 130. And that's what you're starting to see. So I don't have to skip. My thing is, I won't got whatever your goals are. I want you to achieve it because I know you're going to put the work in to make sure you get them. Yeah. As long as they don't interfere with the team goals. And I don't believe they are. But I'm just saying sometimes you just be good. You know, oh, yeah.
But I just want people to... Okay, I got it. But I want people to understand that, to your point about all those touches, 40 more than the next guy, Todd Gurley. It happened because Scott Linehan finally decided, okay, if you're going to put 8 in the
talk to me
box,
any
I'm
type
going to
of fucking
fake
way,
it,
bro.
sink, and he's just going to
Nah,
weave
nah.
into the middle of the field and turn around, and then we'll throw it to him. That's how they beat the system, right?
Oh, so
We'll just
fucking
flip it over the
nice.
middle. How many times you see him just sit down in zone and catch a 5-yard pass and run for 9 yards?
Or catch it in the flat. And there's only been a handful of guys that had 40 touches. I think Le'Veon Bell.
Tom Brady and the Patriots have a huge matchup against the Steelers on Sunday. New England is 9-4, and Brady has 23 touchdown passes, but he hasn't been the typical Brady we've seen in the past. He's 41 years old, and Hall of Famer Warren Moon pointed out that age is a factor in the drop in numbers. Moon said this: the numbers are starting to show that there's a deterioration coming, especially when you talk about the blitzing, because that's something he used to really excel at. You do start to lose some of your reflexes and responses. I started to figure that out later on in my career, too. Even though your mind knows where you should be going, sometimes your body just doesn't react as fast. You're starting to see some of that with him. We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Greg, good to have you with us. Do you agree with that statement? What's your take?
I agree with the statement, but I don't agree with some of the things that he says in the statement. For me, yes, is Brady on the decline? Yes, because he is in a stratosphere that no other quarterback has ever been. And so are we starting to see him at a flight level, at an altitude where other quarterbacks have now ascended to? Of course. But when you start to look at his numbers, and everybody's talking about these numbers declining, I'm trying to see, Skip Sugar, where? Where are they declining?
I know. Let's ask Shannon Sharp.
Normally 19th in touchdown passes, that's a decline.
Right? Okay. No, for Tom Brady, this is the norm. This is the norm. When you look at 3,700 passing yards right now, he's going to be over 4,000 passing yards when the season is over. It's not, but he's never been a Drew Brees where he's 5,000, high fours. That's never really been him. He's had those outlier years, but he's 30, 32, 35 touchdowns every year.
That number this year?
He won't reach that number, but he'll get close. He'll get somewhere around 20, 28 to 29. He'll get there, but this QBR, all of that is affected by the amount of touchdowns to interception ratio. He doesn't throw interceptions. He has 8. He has 2 outlier years where he threw 2 and 4. I mean,
last time he threw 8 in a season.
He got 8 last year.
He had 7.
He had 8. He had 8 last year.
He got 8 right now.
He got 8 right now. So you telling me he can't go 3 games without throwing?
No, go ahead.
I think there is a decline. When I watch Tom Brady and I hear everybody talks about this decline, we all have to try to look and see, okay, what am I going to look for to see where the decline is? Yes, there's a decline in the third down percentage. Yes, he's older. He's going to get hit. He's going to try to get the ball out more. For me, the decline is when I see his arm strength, and when typically what quarterbacks do, when they start losing that ability to drive, which is what a lot of these guys on this panel in this conversation talked about, they start to anticipate more. I see Tom Brady throwing a little sooner. The ball isn't flying and floating the way it once did. But he's mentally strong enough to where he can overcome those things, and he's better than every quarterback within his division. So the decline is so minimal compared to everybody else. It's like, come on. When Brett had his decline, it was boom. It was a drop off. Brady is controlling the decline. I don't think he's going to avoid it. He knows that, but he's still performing at a high level.
At least that was objectively negative, right?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Tom Brady deserves to be a representative at the Pro Bowl quarterback?
In the AFC?
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck.
No.